Hi, I'm Peng, the volunteer community host for Chinatown YEG TV. This year we have been celebrating the Chinese Lunar New Year, the Year of the Golden Rooster. Here are some of the highlights in Chinatown.
So here we are at the Chinese Lunar New Year celebration banquet with His Worship Mayor Don Iveson. First of all, Happy New Year, 恭喜發財.
新年快樂.
So what does Chinese New Year mean to you?
Well, since we have a blended family and my wife's family comes from Hong Kong originally, it's actually a big part of our family tradition. We get to celebrate multiple New Years in our household. It means lucky money for our kids, which we always appreciate from our elders. But it's also a chance to celebrate the diversity of this country and the contributions of Chinese Canadians to industry, to research, to philanthropy, to the many things that make this a great community.
So with Canada 150 this year, how much more special is it for Edmonton, and if there's any other special events that Edmonton is doing?
Well, I think that this is a big Chinese New Year because it coincides with the 150th anniversary or sesquicentennial of the country, and I think this whole year is about celebrating the diversity that is part of the strength of this country, especially in light of recent tragedies and hatred and challenges that we see in other countries. So these celebrations of different cultures, of special and significant events are all the more important to remind Canadians of what brings us all together, and also a reminder of the heritage that different people bring into the mix in Canada.
So we have MLA Thomas Tang here, and as you see, he is of Chinese descent, so he's going to tell us a little bit of his background.
Sure, yeah, so my family is Vietnamese Chinese, so we came over in the 70s as part of the boat people, and one of those really exciting things about that is that we get to celebrate from multiple cultures and different diverse backgrounds, and it's very amazing what we can do here in Alberta.
So as someone of Vietnamese Chinese descent, what are some differences that you find in the Chinese New Year celebration?
My favorite part about the differences, my best thing about Lunar New Year's is that honestly, we get to eat two different types of meals. And the different food and cultures that we get to experience is so amazing, because you can have one type of dinner one night and the next day you suddenly have something completely new and you're enjoying an entirely new culture.
So right now we have William Lau, former student union president of the University of Alberta, and he actually played a beautiful erhu performance. Could you tell us a little bit about the erhu?
Was it beautiful? Was it beautiful? But here, I'll share a little bit about the instrument. This we would call an erhu, or in Mandarin we would call it an erhu. And some people refer to it as a Chinese violin. That'd be the closest, I guess, instrument in Western music that's somewhat similar. It's got two strings, and the bow is actually between the two strings. So you can't play any chords. You would play one string at a time, either by applying pressure to the inside string or the outside string. So the strings are tuned 1/5 apart, and you can tune them however you'd like, as long as you keep that interval. So that when you play songs in different keys, you would just adjust the tuning accordingly. And this instrument, it's funny because in Chinese culture, when we introduce it, it's known to have a very tough learning process. The learning curve is quite steep, and whenever somebody sees an erhu player, they usually really commend the family for putting up with it. Because if you don't apply the right amount of pressure or move the bow at the right time, you get a lot of scratching. So it doesn't always sound great, but I think a lot of people fall in love with this instrument because of its ability to really express emotion and really sing a song without words.
We will be bringing you more exciting sights and sounds throughout the year. Please stay tuned. This is Peng for Chinatown YEG TV.